What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is main deck Monday, and we are looking over the deck that Andrew Mahone used to make second place at Fort Wayne Regionals. Was his Yveltal Garbodor deck. Now, if you missed this interview, link down below in the description is going to be provided to go see it. I think it's a really great interview if you want to learn a lot about this deck, how to take down certain matchups, and he covers pretty much everything. I think it is about 40 minutes long, but I promise it's worth it if you have the time to watch it. I mean, just while you're playing PTCO, just listen to the interview. It's fantastic. But let's go over this deck and let's see what's it about. But like I said, Mahone covers a lot more in very good detail in the interview, so make sure you check that out. Now, when you've seen this deck before, it has won 2 regionals, and I mean the only 2 standard regionals in North America right now, which is Orlando and Fort Wayne. Both those was won by Yveltal Garbodor. I know that Jimmy P. Darvis did win. His list is a little bit different than Mahone, and once again, Mahone actually talks about that in the interview as well. But let's go over it and let's see what is this deck about. I mean, you have Yveltal, which I know a lot of people do not play this Yveltal with the Oblivion one. This is very uncommon nowadays. But Andrew did decide to include it in his list. He goes, I mean, great deal to a Y. Like he can use against Greninja, do that 30 damage just to pop balloons off and do some damage, which is fantastic. And he goes over some things as well. But Blue 30, attach a Dark from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And the main kind of attacker is going to be this Fright Knight Yveltal. It has Fright Knight, makes where Tools has no effect, and it has Pitch Black Spear, which is probably the strongest attack in the game right now. It does 60 and 60 damage to a opponent's bench Pokemon EX. So you can do 60 to active, 60 to a bench EX, and you can pretty much like knock out Shamans fairly easily. You can 2-shot them. You can start like knocking out EX, like just regular EXs, like 3-shotting them, which seems like very hard to do, but I promise it's really easy. Bitch Black Spear is probably the best deck in the game, and of course 3 Yveltal EX with Eve Ball and the Y Cyclone 20, and then 20 more damage, 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon, and Y Cyclone 90, and moving energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Of course, like always, 2 Shaman to help set up in a 2/2 Garbodor line to shut down Greninjas, Giant Water Shuriken, the Volcanion Steam-Ups, anything like that. Garbodor can help you out, which is fantastic, and that's going to be all the Pokemon in the deck. Now, he's going to play 2 Enhanced Hammer, which is becoming like more standard to play 2 Enhanced Hammer, just so you can discard like DCEs. Like almost every deck plays Special Energies. So you have DCEs, Splash Energies, Strong Energies, Double Dragon, and those are the main 4 that are used. But almost every deck does play some type of Special Energy, which is fantastic. I think the only one that does not play it is like maybe Mega Gardevoir and Volcanion. But I think everything else does in the game right now. Like Greninja plays Splash Energies, Mega Mewtwo plays DCEs, Dr. Giratina plays Double Dragon. Yveltal plays DCEs, Rainbow plays DCEs, and I think even like with the water decks like Glaceon Regice, if you see that, they still play DCs as well. So you can see that this is a very strong card, and it's becoming a standard in this Yveltal Garbodor deck. Now he did play 3 Max Elixir, like a top 6. If you find a basic energy card, you touch it to one of your base Pokemon on your bench. 3 Trainer Small, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, 2 Lysander, which I do love. I love 2 Lysander on almost every list. Just break a Pokemon off the bench. 3 in, 1 Olympia, switch your active with one of your bench and heal 30 damage from the Pokemon. 4 Sycamore and 3 Paralocity. Now I know some lists are playing 2 Paralocity in Reverse Valley, but Andrew decided to play the 3 Paralocity just so you can win that Stadium War every single time, and you can either make it where you can do Grass, Water, Fire to do 20 less, or put them down to 3, of course. 3 Fire if you will, give that 40 additional HP and do 10 more damage. 3 Flowstone to get that Garbodor free retreat and to turn on that Garbotoxin, and as anybody else can free retreat as well. 4 DC and 9 Dark Energy, and that's going to be Andrew Mahone's second place Yveltal Garbodor list. Like I said, there's an interview. Make sure you check it out. It's very good. The list is kind of like straightforward, but when you listen to Mahone's interview, he talks about like, you know, anybody can play this deck, but it takes a fantastic player to win like tournaments and to go very far, because there's a bunch of people playing this deck right now, but some people are not seeing the success that this deck can actually provide. and that just takes practice, just time, and just knowing what the correct plays are. There's a bunch of different plays you can always do with the stack with, like max elixirs, where to attach your energies. It's kind of like a chess match, especially in the mirror, because you have to like predict like 3 or 4 turns ahead of why you attach your energy, what it's going to do. Certain supporter cards, like if you play Lysander and you're not taking a knockout, but you're doing that damage, that can make all the difference for sure in decks. And I mean, like I hate keep bringing it back up. If you listen to Mahone's article, Mahone's interview, like he talks about his top 4 match where he could have taken a knockout on a Frogadier, but he actually opts not to, and because he realizes like Chris doesn't have a supporter card, and he must have an Ace Trainer hand, and if you take a knockout, then Chris can Ace Trainer him, and it's a lot of little things like that that makes the difference between a great Yveltal player and just a regular Yveltal player. But guys, hopefully George's deck list, I think it's a really good deck. Obviously, it's won 2 regionals, has got second as well, and this trend will continue for sure. It's one of the strongest decks, if not the best deck in the format right now. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, so putting against Dark Soka, playing a colors and a water deck, so most likely going to be a Greninja deck. Alright, we'll see how this goes. We'll call heads like always, and tails. We did lose the coin flip. Now, we do have Garbodor, which could shut down the giant water shuriken, but still, a lot of things come into play, like the bursty balloons, and he can hit us for 80. We can't one-shot him. I think our plan is to load up a giant Yveltal EX and take a knockout on these Greninjas. So, we get a mulligan, we'll press done. There's waters, DC, so maybe not. There's water and a DC. This could be a Regice deck, and that would be very unfortunate because this deck does not play a Ranger to get around that. It could be Primal Kyogre, and then that would be a really interesting matchup for sure. So I'm going to pick him on the active spot. We get another mulligan, so press done. You're going to get another new hand of 7. Alrighty, there's an Yveltal. So put an Yveltal. Press done, and we'll see what happens. If we can find a Flowstone, we could get potential turn 1. That'd be great. But let's see what's going to happen. It's letting them start a Pokemon. They must have another one, and there is a Glalie. Alright, so neither of the decks I was thinking about. So Glalie spinning on the active. I mean, I think our plan is to like use the Fright Knight Yveltal, but that's going to be a little bit hard to set up right now unless we top deck a Floatstone. If we top deck a Floatstone, we can Ultra Ball, discard. Well, I mean, if we top deck a Floatstone's not good either. But, I mean, we can play a bunch of cards down, get a Shaman set up. There's an Ultra Ball, discarding a Mega Turbo and a Rough Seas, which is fantastic. That's one less Rough Seas we have to worry about. We do play a bunch of Perilous Cities, so that is going to help us. Another Glalie coming down onto the field. Shaman going to set up for 3 new cards. But I think our plan is to like snipe these Glalies early and then start taking knockouts, or just hit them over and over again, make it where their Spearlings do not work. There's a Trainer's Milk. Go look at the top cards of their deck and let's see what do they find. They're not going to find anything. And what else would I want to do? Hopefully we top deck. We top deck an N or Sycamore. We're definitely just going to Ultra Ball for a... Wow, I thought he discarded another Rough Seas, but he discards a second Mega Turbo and an Enhanced Hammer. So on our turn, what do we top deck? And there's a Dark Energy. Okay, so that's not what we want to hit. So we'll Ultra Ball, discard a Dark and a Fighting Fear Belt for a Shaman EX. Now we can Shaman set it for 3, or we could try to go for a Yveltal EX this turn. So we'll grab the Shaman. We'll put a DC. I think we're gonna go for the try to go for that play for sure. And there's a Dark Energy. Put on the Yveltal EX, and we'll go for Shaman, set it for 5 new cards. If we can still find a Flowstone, we'll still be good to get attack off, and there's an Ultra Ball. So we're going to Ultra Ball, discard the Yveltal, the Sycamore. I don't think this is going to be very useful. We'll grab a Fright Knight. I don't think we need Garbodor in this matchup, so we need to try to hit one of these 2 Flowstones. Alright, so let me just look at everything. Okay, so press done. We'll put down the Fright Knight, and we will end. And hopefully with this end, we can find a Flowstone to free trade and go for a White Cyclone. And there's a Flowstone, which is fantastic. So we can Flowstone the active, retreat, and do we do a bunch of damage on the active or do White Cyclone? I think right now White Cyclone is probably the better play. Go White Cyclone for 90, move a DC from this guy onto this bench, Yveltal, and then maybe next turn we get attack off. It's still going to be very hard because we don't have like a Flowstone on the active. We have to find another Flowstone to retreat it, unfortunately. So Rough Seas coming down, going to heal that 30 damage, but that is their second Rough Seas, and we can counter that with our own Parallel City. DC going to the active. They could go for Instant Freeze, which would do 100 damage. But can we take a knockout? 110, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We actually can take a knockout if he does go for the instant freeze. There's an in. But we had to have matching hand size. Oh no, he does take a knockout. It only does 150. So in, we'll both get a new hand. All right, and let's see, what do we find here? What does our opponent do? What do they get? There's a dark energy. All right, and what else? So an instant freeze, so do 100 damage. But like I said, we have a 150. Sorry, we have a DCE, so we can't take a knockout this turn. So put a DCE active, and we will just let's do we Ultra Ball? I kind of don't want to Ultra Ball, just in case we need Shaman later on. I think we'll find this Yveltal in here for 140 for the knockout. Alright, so go down to 4 price cards. Now remember, he's already played 2 Mega Turbo, so he could be out of those. There's a Perilous City and a Trainer's Milk coming to our hand. We could have played Ultra Ball, but like I said, I don't want to Ultra Ball for something, and then we can't Shaman later on. So he's going to send the Shaman EX, which is fine with me. We can actually take a knock on it. There's a Mega Galele coming down with the Cryo Mouth. Now he'll need a Dark and a DC to actually get attack off. There's a VS Sacred Fort in, and going to give us a new hand for. But if next turn we can find a Dark Energy, we could do 60 to this guy, 60 to Shaman. But we need to find a Parallel City to make that Rough Seas not matter anymore. So we get a Shaman, a Lysander, a Galele coming down as well, and Ultra Ball. Okay, so our plan is to Lysander up this Galele, Max Elixir, and try to like snipe for 60-60. So Mega Turbo, gonna put a Water Energy in that guy. Shaman, gonna set up for 6 new cards. Now we could snipe both these Shamans, but I think a Lysander up this Galele is maybe the better play. But let's see. Does he find a DC and a Fluzzle? If he does, he will get a knockout this turn. Going down to 4 prize cards. There's a Trainer's Smell. Gonna get top cards of his deck. He's already played 1 DC, so he might have another left. And we still have our max, or not a max, our enhanced damage as well. So the Trainer's Smell. Gonna look at top cards of his deck. Looks like he's not gonna get anything, which is great for us. And there's enhanced damage. Discarding energy off the active, which is okay with me. If I was my opponent, I might have discarded off the bench Yveltal because that is the more threatening person right now. So Water Energy the active. We'll see. Okay, no, just a pass. All right, so in our turn, we get a Dark Energy. That's a fantastic top deck. So put a Dark Energy this guy. We go Floatstone, Lysander, bring up the Galele. Retreat. Hold on. Let's retreat. Oh man. Now I'm gonna max to this bench Yveltal if we hit one, and we do hit one. So put it on this bench Yveltal, and we will Shaman set up for 6 new cards. All right, and let's see, what do we find? I'm hoping to find a Trubbish or another Fright Knight, and we do find another Fright Knight. So this is gonna be fantastic. We put down the Yveltal. We can retreat into the Fright Knight. We can Parallel City ourselves down to 3. Which means we could discard both our Shaman, so he cannot take easy knockouts. So discard 1 and discard 2, and it makes it where he does less damage. And now we're going to go for Pitch Black Spear. Going to hit 60 and 60 on this guy. I think hitting this guy is a little bit better. We could maybe snipe the Shamans. Yeah, there's a Water to the active. He could go for Instant Freeze or Ice Breath, trying to paralyze us. Ooh, that's scary. Okay, all right. A Rough Seas coming out. We have another City, we have another Parallel City in our hand, so 30-30, okay. And I guess maybe going for a Shaman's might have been a play. And then you should have Mega Ball, which I'm fine with this. Alright, so on our turn, we get a Fighting Field. So Parallel City, once again, reducing their damage out by 20. Put a DC on this guy. And I guess we could have won this turn because we could have sniped both the Shamans. And I don't know why I didn't do that. But I guess, like, I know the correct play is snipe the Shamans, but we're gonna snipe the Mega Glaze instead, so 60-60. Gonna bring him up to 130 and 130 as well. He can't really take a knockout. Oh man. Okay, so switching to this guy onto the Shaman, and we might see a Sky Returns with DCT active. Why did he take a knockout? Okay, so Lysander, bring up the Fright. Oh, he's gonna take a knockout that way, okay. I mean, he could have used Cryo Mouth. This Pokemon has 10 or more damage counters on it. This could do 150. I had the card backwards. I thought it was going to be for us, like if we had 60 more damage. Alright, but whatever. We'll send this guy. Oh, man. There's a Dark Energy. We'll put a Dark Energy to this guy. And then VS Seeker forward and put my opponent down to 4 cards. Alright, I read a Cryo Math wrong, like I said. It definitely is like, how many damage cards on this Pokemon, not on us. So, Lysander, Dark Energy, okay. We will Pitch Black Spear. Do 60 and 60. Alright. So he has 70 HP left, 70 HP left. We hit both for 60. I guess we should have baby. I mean, there's so many silly things. I should have baby prior to this guy and then hit these guys for knockout. If he doesn't find a DC, we're okay. There is a Super Rod. Gonna shuffle his cards back into his deck. Okay. I mean, he can't win in 2 turns. A Glalie, 2 waters. Okie dokie. And let's see what else does he do. There's Sycamore. Going to discard his hand, draw 7 cards, and does he find a DC or not? Is going to be a big question. Alrighty, and there's Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards out of his hand, discards a Glalie and a Hex Maniac. And will he find a Shaman or not? Now, he's already down 1 DC. There's a Shaman. Going to set up for 3 cards right now, 2 cards right now. Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's a DC. So he is going to take a knockout with the Cryo Mouth. Okay. Okay, so Cryo Mouth for the knockout. 230. Alright, we'll set up this guy. But now he has, what, 70 HP left. So what we can do is we can Ultra Ball, discard 1 and 2. No, we discard double Enhanced Hammer, okay? We're going to discard double Enhanced Hammer, grab an Yveltal, put that guy down, Dark Energy, and we are going to White Cyclone, knock out the active, and move the DC from the active to the bench. And that way we can have another Yveltal ready to go if he does decide to send this guy up. So we'll take 2 prize cards, 1 to 2. There's an Olympia and a Float Zone. So we should be okay to win this game. Here comes the Cryo Mouth. I mean, if he heals, we still can do Evolve for a knockout if he does find a DCE. So we should take this game. So Trainer's Mill, unless he finds a 4th, well, he's played 2 Enhanced Hammer. Unless he finds a 3rd Enhanced Hammer, then we'll be in trouble. So Shaman, go to set up for Tuna cards. Alright, but we could have won this game forever ago if we went that Pitch Black Spear, knock out both Shamans. I don't know why I didn't do that. I guess, I mean, the main thing is I read Cryo Mouth wrong. I thought it was damage on us, and none of them. I just forgot what it did. That was my fault. But we go to Dark and a second. We're pretty much securing us the game. DCT active, he will take a knockout, but we can send up Yveltal and Yveltal for the knockout. He's going to go to 1 prize card, but Yveltal Garbodor will take the game. I mean, we didn't even use Garbodor, really not needed at all, but we will put a Dark Energy in the active, and we will evolve for a ton of damage, knocking out the active, Mega Glalie, and there we go, guys. We'll see one more game with this Yveltal Garbodor. Wow, we had 2 via Seeker's Prize, and we still were able to take the victory. But guys, hope you enjoyed this first game, and we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second. Hopefully, do we actually snipe the Shamans. But I mean, at any moment, he could have switched Skyward to the Shamans and made our Pitch Black Spear useless, but then he's not attacking Mega Glalie. I don't know, it's very interesting for sure. But guys, we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second, and hopefully we get another victory. Alright guys, so putting us NYWTNM playing a fighting deck, most likely going to be a Zygarde deck. Now with Zygarde, they probably have Carping, which has a Safeguard ability, which can make your EX Pokemon cannot hurt it, but luckily we do have that Garbodor, which can shut it down. And one of these decks did actually make top, wow, we have a really good hand. We're just going to Yveltal the active, but one of these decks did make top cut at Fort Wayne Regionals. He did lose in top 8 to Jimmy Pedarvis playing his own Yveltal deck. But let's see what's going to happen. I mean, we have a Dark Energy. I think I just want to Darken packs, actually. So there's a Carping. Okay. So Dark, Trainers. Do we even Trainers Mill? Like, part of me just wants to pass, because, like, we could DCE. He can take a knockout. I'm going to put down Yveltal just in case, and I'm just going to pass right now until our opponent's turn. So let's see what's going to happen. Alright, so Fighting Fever going to the active, which doesn't matter because we have that Fright Knight ability. And let's see what else will our opponent do. So Trainer's Mill. Look at the top cards of his deck. Now, if he is playing a Crushing Hammer version, that could be very bad. But usually these fighting decks don't play Crushing Hammers anymore. So Strong Energy in the active. So both get a new hand of 6. Unfortunately, our DC will go away, but we still have the Shaman in our deck to Ultra Ball for later if needed. And there's Ultra Ball, Enhanced Hammer, Max Elixir, a Carbine hit in the field as well, a Zygarde with the Rumble and the Geo Strike. And I think I'm just going to Ultra Ball, discard Olympia, Lysander to get a Trubbish. Switches to the Carbine without the Strong Energy on it. But if we find one of our hand stammers, we can discard, which would be fantastic. And there's a Max Elixir. So, well, Max Elixir number 1. Putting a Dark Energy on the Yveltal. I'm on a Max Elixir number 2. Put a Dark Energy on the Yveltal. Alright, so double Max Elixir hit. Ultra Ball, discard Olympia and the Lysander to grab a Trubbish. Or maybe not because of our Trubbish prize. That's fantastic. So we'll grab a Shaman. We will set up for 4 new cards. And let's see, can we find a DCE or not? And we do find a DC and a Float Zone. So we'll put a DC in the active. And I think I'm just going to... I'm gonna end. I'm gonna try to find a hand hammer, discard the strong energy off the bench Carbink. Alright, we don't find it, but we do find a fighting field for Yveltal, which is fantastic. So we're going to fighting field on the Yveltal, and unfortunately we have to pitch Black Spirit for just 60 onto the active. He does not have the EX on the bench, and can't believe we prized both of our Trubbishes. That's very unfortunate, but maybe we'll be able to get one out of the prize cards. I mean, that's what happens sometimes when playing Garbodor. You just prize your Trubbishes, but I mean, the Fright Knight's still very good against this matchup. Gonna put a fighting field on the Zygarde, okay. And let's see, does he have a way to retreat this Carbink? He does need energy, which is that's not too hard to retreat. Just any energy retreat, and then he can use Carbink Break to get onto the field. Now, if the Carbink Break does come down, we'll have to two-shot as well. So Max looks are not going to hit anything. Okay. And it's going to be interesting to see if he finds the Zygarde. Does he put it down or not? So Ultra Ball, going to discard 2 cards out of his deck to find a Pokemon. Discards an Olympia and a Lysander. Going to grab a Shaman, set up for 4 new cards. Alright, so Shaman coming down is fantastic because we can't hit that with the Pitch Black Spear. Alright, so fighting, you're going to Garbink. We see a Shaman set up for 5 new cards. Now, luckily with Garbink, he can't really do too much damage because we are resistant, which is fantastic. Right now, Power Jump would do 60, minus 20, so 40. The fighting field does not matter because our Fright Knight, and here we see a Max Lucer. And let's see what does opponent get. So, you fighting energy going to the Zygarde. Okay. Now, Rumble makes it where you can't retreat, which is not too bad. Like, you can Lysander Shaman and make it where we can't retreat, but we can find Olympia. We get Sky Return as well if needed. I'm not going to attach a DC right now. I'd rather power up another Fright Knot Yveltal. Okay. So let's see. I mean, either way, we're going to do 60 to the active, 60 to Shaman, just a pass onto our turn. So we get Yveltal. I'm not going to put that down because I don't want our opponents to be able to have another Lysander target. And we do, I mean, we do find some stuff. We get Ultra Ball, discard the Fighting Fear Belt, and I kind of want to discard the Flowstone. But yeah, I'm going to discard the Flowstone. I think it's better. We'll discard those two, grab a Fright Knight. Puts that down. Max looks at the top cards of our deck. I'll find a Dark Energy put on the Fright Knight. Now, you might be thinking playing the Enhanced Tamer. I'm actually not going to do that. If we play the Enhanced Tamer, he can then use the Carbink Break to put the Strong Energy from his discard pile onto the Zygarde. So I'd rather him not have that. I'd rather just pitch Black Spear and save the Enhanced Tamer for a Zygarde on the bench. So that way we can make it where he can't attack us. So another Yveltal EX come into our hand, and next turn we can knock out the Shaman EX. So into our opponent's turn, he's going to draw a card. And like I said, we could have enhanced him that strong energy off. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather keep it on the Carbink. It's not really that scary. It's more scary when it's on a Zygarde EX or a Zygarde on the bench. Alright, so fighting energy going to the bench. Zygarde, okay. And we could maybe see a Rumble if he gets a Lysander. He can Lysander or Shaman and go for a Rumble, but if he does that, all we need to find... We actually can't find... Oh, we have to go for a Sky Return. We actually can't even attach an energy retreat. I don't know what I was talking about. So strong energy going to Zygarde. Switch into the Zygarde, okay. Right now, Geostrike will take a knockout. So Trainer's Mail, look at top cards of his stack, but we can take a knockout with our Yveltal, which is fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, we don't take a knockout. So let's see what they decided to do with 20, 40. Actually, he doesn't take a knockout either. He only does 120, thanks to our resistance. So 10 damage both these guys, and onto our turn. All right. So we can Enhance Tamer, discard the energy off the active. Or discard the energy off the bench. I think we discard the active, so you can't go for Geostrike. You have to go for another Rumble. Which Rumble will knock us out. So put a Dark Energy Yveltal in. We'll go for an N. Either way, I'm trying to play our hand down. We still... I just wish we had a Garbodor. But we don't. But we'll go for a Pitch Black Spear. Taking a knock on the active. Or not taking a knock. 60 at 60 at Shaman. So we'll go down to 3 prize cards. 1 and 2. The Sycamore and a Trubbish. There we go. There's a Trubbish that we need. And onto our opponent's turn. Either way, we can send the Fright on Yveltal 60, and we can do 60 to the Zygarde. And things are starting to look good for us in this game. Strong energy on the active. And will he go for Rumble or Geostrike? I mean, he could have Rumble for a knockout either way. Because it would have done 10 regardless already. Alright, so let's see. What does he opt to do? Either way, we're going to send the Yveltal. DC it. And Pitch Black Spear hitting the Zygarde for 60 damage. There's the Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards from his hand. Discards an Ultra Ball and a Fighting Energy. And let's see, what does he decide to get? There's another Carbink coming down, which we don't care about too much. Me, I might have tried to go for a Carbine Break this turn. Shaman, oh, a Shaman coming down. That's fantastic. Another Shaman hitting the field. And I'm really opted to, like, knock out the Shaman now or later on because what we can do is once again we can pitch Black Spear, hit the active for 60, and hit the Shaman for 60 as well. And then all we have to do is knock out the Shaman, which is not too hard. Alright, so fighting for going to the Zygarde, we see a Trainer Smell, look at tough cards of his deck. Gonna find a Max Elixir. Zygarde is kind of scary, but I mean, he'll have to commit 3 energies on it, so the Max Elixir. And does he find a fighting energy? He does. So combine the Zygarde. Alright. How many strong energies? He's down 2 strong energies already. There we see a V-Seeker for an N. Alright, so N will both get new hand, and there goes a Trubbish going away as well, unfortunately. So we'll get 3 new cards, and I wonder if I want to place Parallel City. We find a Flowstone, Sycamore, and a Geostrike for a knockout doing 120 damage and 10 to all of his bench. Alright. So we're going to sit at the Shaman, Flowstone, and just Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards, and we find a Trainer's Mail. Alright, so Trainer's Mail, I don't know if we're even looking for anything. There's an Enhanced Stammer, which I will grab. Just to thin it out of our deck. It's not going to matter too much. So I'd rather just thin it out. Discard the one off the bench. We have Flowstone, and we will Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. And we do find a Trubbish, Flowstone, DCE, Retreat, and we will take a knockout the Pitch Black Spear, doing 60 to the active and 60 to that Shaman. And all we have to do next turn is knock out the Shaman for the game. Alright, so we're going to have 2 prize cards. Or yeah, 2. I don't know why I tried to take 1. Or try to take 2. We're going to take a knockout. Go down to 2 prize cards, and my opponent will have to find a Max Elixir and a Strong Energy to take a knockout. No, he actually had double Strong Energy. There we go, guys. Yeah, there's no way he can knock us out. We can knock out the Shaman, and you can see why Pitch Black Spear is so good. If your opponent carelessly just puts down the Shaman, so you can easily knock them out over and over again. We also had an Yveltal ready to go. If he did somehow get that Zygarde powered up, we would have this Yveltal. If we found a DCE, we could have hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 170 damage, which is not enough for knock on that Zygarde, but would have done a ton of damage. And there we go, guys. There's the Yveltal Garbodor deck. I know game number 1, we made some silly mistakes by not knocking out the Shaman, but I definitely did make it up in game number 2. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you see why this Yveltal Zygarde, or not Yveltal Zygarde, Yveltal Garbodor is so strong. I mean, neither game we got down the Garbodor. In some games, you don't need to. I mean, that's the case. I mean, you do need it against, like, Volcanion. That's for sure. Greninja, it doesn't help out too much. I mean, I guess, no, it does help out a lot what we're talking about. It gets rid of the giant water shuriken. But make sure you watch Andrew Mahone's interview. It's really, really good if you want to learn a lot more about this deck. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great Monday. Alrighty. Bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.